Hey there, carrying on with the long-delayed series on how to make your own custom bagpipe cover, um, because fellow wants his pipe cover for an event coming up towards the end of the month, so it's time to get the finger out and get on with it. So I went back and I reviewed my previous episodes, and the first off was a bit of a laugh because I haven't had a haircut in a year. So it's that whole then and now thing made me chuckle a bit. In any case, so we're moving forward, and you remember in previous episodes, we'd measured the bag. We had done a sample bag cover out of a scrap piece of sheet, confirmed the dimensions and such like that, created a master pattern, as it were. And as you can see upon this, I've written down all the information. So it's a standalone document that the dominant stripe of the set crosses at the middle of the middle drone, the circumference of each, and the seam allowance, the amount of fringe necessary for three drone stalks, the chanter stock, and the front and the back. Dimensions of the cloth stock that I'm going to be making the tubes out of. And of course, the relationship of the drones to the chanter relative to the end of the piece. Now, we're working with just under a meter, just under a yard of double width cloth. And this is one of the reasons why, 32 inches, double width, so it's got the selvage edge at either end by 53 inches. And this is one of the reasons why these things are so horrendously expensive. This is a significant investment. But this is the client's cloth, so I'm pulling the stops out to do absolutely the best job we can, which of course is the only way we do business. So I've laid out the master pattern on the cloth to ensure that the piece of cloth that I've got is wide enough and long enough. Now I'm just gonna extend the neck of the bag to the selvage edge. I'm not going to cut that back because the selvage edge will work to our advantage because it's a sealed seam. It's not going to fray. And rather than come up with some cockamamie way of transferring these marks by pricking through the cloth, through the paper, I'm not going to do that because that, no matter how carefully I do it, there's going to be some error communicated. So what I've done is I've laid out, starting just from first principles. There's the center of my middle drone. 3 inches down, 1 inch forward is the base drone. 3 inches out, 1 inch back is the outside tenor. 5 inches forward, 1 inch down is the blowpipe. And the customer has elected to go with the same wonderfully rich fringe from William Booth and Company, and I'll put that link in the comment section again. So because I've got the cloth, and if you're working with double ends, you can cut the material for all of your tubes, for want of a better phrase, from the far end. I had a bit of extra still, so I cut it from a separate piece. But you've seen what I've done here is that I've lined up the pattern of each of these tubes down the center line on where the center of the drone will be, and then measure 3.5 inches out from each. Although there's a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm not going to mess about when the time comes to sew the thing. I've made this piece 7 inches, which is 1 inch over, but that means I can sew it comfortably and then cut back to the seam allowance. So for each of these, as you can see, I've taken the time and the attention to detail so that these tubes will be centered. The design will be centered when looking at the piper from the front, because that's generally where people see us, view us from. And as we can see here, center stock carries on the red line, the outside stock carries on the white line, and so on. It's just a nice little bit of attention to detail. So from here, I'm going to make the tubes. As I'd covered in a previous video, but first off, of course, my next step is to sew the fringe on to each of the pieces of cloth that will become the tubes, plus the front, plus the back. Then cut the holes for the tubes, which will be an episode that'll splice onto this video, and then set them in their holes and sew them. And then the final step will be to cut the outline of the bag followed by sewing the bag to its finished shape. So there we go. Thank you. I'll report back when I've got something to show you. Now, I need hardly even mention this, but I'm going to show you anyway. Remember, just a moment ago, I was showing you how I'd paid attention to detail laying out the drone tubes so that the pattern will match. The quickest and easiest way to do this without confusion is just take the piece of cloth. We're doing it empirically, I guess. Take the piece of cloth, and on top of everything else, making sure that the grain, as it were, lines up, because it's far too easy to reverse one of these things and you don't notice it till later. So I've just laid the piece of cloth. There's the center of the blowpipe stock. I've just laid the piece of cloth, lined it up, transferred that mark of the center of the blowpipe stock, and then measured 3.5 inches either way, marked that with a different colored chalk, and then I cut it. And these are all little labor saving, maybe not labor saving, but little tricks that help prevent error. Because it's far too easy to be distracted when you're talking to somebody, or if you're listening to music in the background, or you're just simply tired. But by going through these steps without having to do measuring and everything else, you're just laying it out and transferring marks directly, just seems to help. So I'm going to cut these on the yellow lines, and then I'm going to proceed with attaching the fringes and then setting. Okay. Hey there. So we're carrying on with the tubes, for want of a better word, for the sleeves, shoulders, sleeves, yeah, drone sleeves. In any case, the first step is to sew the fringe on, and it's very important because I sew it by hand. You can just go zoom with a sewing machine. If that's how you roll, that's fine. But I find I get more accuracy when I'm sewing by hand, but I'm not a machine sewing guy. It's also important to sew the ends down really well, because this stuff just wants to come apart the moment you cut it. So I've sewn this down, and the next stage is to fold it inside out. Make sure that the two ends of the fringe line up, because you want to sew them together so that we don't wind up with a gap showing in the back, because that's like horribly unprofessional. So I'm going to pin this together. I'm going to sew this with a couple of seams and fairly heavy back stitching, because some people put their pipe bag on and just leave it forever. Some people are always pulling it on and taking it off. So these do take a fair amount of abuse. So I'm going to sew those down very carefully into a tube, which I've done here. And the next stage is to cut the hole and set the sleeve into the, well, let's just carry on the analogy, into the shoulder, into the thigh. But this is a part that gives me a fair amount of anxiety, because if I mess this up, we throw the whole thing away. Now, remember in the beginning I mentioned using a bog paper tube. Now, I guess I could get more upmarket and have a turned piece of wood to this circumference, which is 6 inches. But I don't anticipate making too many more of these things before I retire, so I'm just going to stick with the bog paper. That's what I do, because remember, we'd laid out the points. So I line up looking down to make sure that it's centered. And then as you see, I've drawn a series. I've created sort of a hexagonal shape, a stop sign shape, by just marking around the tube, because I can't put pressure against the tube because it'll collapse. So off it comes. And I've just marked here with yellow chalk to show the 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts that I'm going to make. And I'm not going to make the cuts all the way. I'm going to start just short of the circumference. And this is, I'm kind of sweating here because I don't have a good track record for doing things accurately when we're shooting live. So let's see if I manage to cock this entirely up. So I'm cutting just short. I should have been like Julia Child and said, oh, and here's one I made earlier. But I didn't do that, did I? Okay, so there's my 6 cuts. And I didn't screw the last one up, so yay me. Okay, now make sure I've got the right tube, because this one's going to line up. This is the middle drone, and this is going to line up with the center feature of the tartan here. So let's get this stuff out of the way. So what I'm going to do is push this through from the outside, and I sort of have to collapse the cardboard a little bit to get it in. But I push it through down to the point where I want to make a seam. And it's kind of collapsing and looking terrible here, but trust me, it works out in the end. Touch wood. So I've lined it up. I've brought it down to about 1 inch width of my thumb. And we see on the inside that we have the spikes from the cutout that I made sort of radiating up like a crown. I could make some Corona joke here, I suppose, right? So from here, I'm going to sew it with an appropriately colored thread, starting here at the point that matters most. And I'm going to do a fell stitch all the way around. We can maybe see it here. I've done a fell stitch all the way around, and sometimes we'll go around twice just so that I can double up the stitches per inch. And then pass through inside, and I'm going to fold this over and then sew this down on the inside, as we see here. So it's neatly done like this. So I'm going to, I'll stop and sew this one now. So I'm going to set all of these in, and then once that's done, then I'll proceed to the next stage, but we'll worry about the next stage when I get to it. So there we go. Now I'm doing this little segment one-handed because my videographer is at uni right now. So I'm just setting the fourth and final stock sleeve, I guess we'll call them. This one for the blowpipe, and if you remember, it's 5 inches forward of the middle drone, 1 inch down, and on top of that, I'm setting it slightly crooked. I'm pulling the cloth a little bit so that it's slightly down and slightly to the rear, because of course no blowpipe ever comes out of the pipe straight up when they're being played. So I'm just carefully setting that, and then I'm going to sew it into position. Then we'll be on to the next step. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's a bit of luck. This thing, after doing this, I'm gonna test fit it to my own set of pipes. The set of pipes that this is destined for isn't in the province, but I'll test this this placement to my drone stocks and everything before proceeding to the next stage, which is putting the fringe on it, the neck, and at the back, cutting it out and then sewing it together. So with luck, it might be ready to ship out by the end of the day. Now, having set all 4 stock sleeves, I've turned the cloth upside down and I've pinned my pattern centered on the middle drone. So again, there's the center of the pipe bag, there's the middle drone, and I've traced around it with chalk. Now, I could have done this beforehand, but tailor's chalk tends to rub off and to fade, at least the good stuff does. So had I chalked to this in the beginning, there was a pretty good chance that the chalk marks would be gone by the time I got to this stage anyway. So I've turned it over. Now, of course, the pattern's a bit domed because all of those 4 tubes are under there, those 4 sleeves are under there. So when I'm cutting, I'm going to cut to the line at the neck, and where it runs out, I'm taking a little bit longer to that element of the tartan, but I'm going to give it another 1/2 inch seam allowance on either side when I cut through this sweep here. And then, in fact, I might actually, for this cut, I think I'll go a full inch for this center portion, and then I can drape it over my inflated bagpipe bag with corks fitted in the stocks, just to triple check, because if we cut it too close, the whole thing's ruined. And of course, it's easy to take cloth off, but it's obscenely difficult to put cloth on. So there we go. Here we are, the final chapter of making a custom bagpipe cover. So it's just about finished, and as you can see, all of the construction, all of the detail has been done while the cloth is laid flat. It's so much easier that way. The last thing that I did that you see here was attaching the fringes at the front and back. Step before that was tracing and cutting out. So, and again, I've cut this a little bit big with a slightly more generous seam allowance than usual, because we can always tailor down, but it's hard to put cloth back on. And I fitted this to my pipe bag. The pipes for whom this is destined are in Ontario. So I couldn't have them to refer to. So I've tailored a bit big because we can always reduce if we have to. So the summary of the work, as we can see, we have our 4 stock sleeves. And as you can see, they've been set. I've taken the time because this is a showpiece. I've taken the time. So we've got the attention to detail where as much as can be achieved, the details of the set match as close as possible. Also the seams, which are kind of hard to see, but nonetheless, they're at the back where they're going to be against the piper's chest. And this one, same thing. It's away. It's not easily visible. It doesn't detract from the appearance of the thing, but let's just tuck it out the side anyway. Looking inside, we can see how, having set the sleeves, I'd then double stitch it, and I'd rolled over and sewn around the edge. And so it's good to go. I've put my label on it. I've put my label on the inside for a couple of reasons, because if it was on the outside, frankly, it would be too eye-catching and too distracting. And quite frankly, I don't see myself making many more of these things. I'm specializing if people really, really want them, but I'm not advertising these things. I'm not advertising the service of pipe bags. This is why I've made the video, so you can make your own blessed one. So the next stage from here, as you can see, I've chalked my seam and fold it in half, line up the edges, pin it, and sew it. And as much, of course, in addition to lining up the edges, I'm also lining up the set so that it's going to be as evenly matched as possible. There's going to be some puckering here to make that curve, but it's going to be done as nicely as possible. I'm sewing this by hand because although I have sewing machines, I've never really learned how to use the blessed things. And frankly, this is quieter. It takes a little bit longer, but frankly, it's quieter. It's more relaxing. It's how I prefer to do it. So there we go. I'll sew this, and it'll be ready for shipping at the end of the day. Thank you.